Hey y'all, it's Chris with Rockin Farm, and we had one doozy of a storm come through the farm last night. It was bad enough that both my wife and I are actually having to take some time off of work to assess damage, find out whether or not we need to call some insurance companies, see what we've got to do as far as repairing things for livestock. So that's kind of where we're at right now, is we're going to walk around the farm and try and find out exactly what kind of damage was really done. We were out here late last night doing the immediate stuff. Like, after the storm was over, we checked to make sure all of the animals were accounted for and healthy. And then we had to pull some big branches off of like our electric fences so they wouldn't be grounded out. So we got an idea of what it looked like last night, but it was pitch black. So this is the first time in daylight that we're walking around the farm and seeing what the damage is like. It's still very windy today. There's going to be some wind noise on the video today, but let's go see what our farm looks like. I think what we need to do is we need to take a look at the trees, because obviously we got lucky here. You know, this stuff fell down off away from the house. I can see some little branches up on the house, but it looks like the roof is actually in okay shape. But my concern is
that
broken branches that may drop.
Yes.
Like, they're still on the tree, but they may drop on the roof. So it looks like we've got relatively lucky on the back side of the house here, y'all. Our big concern is going to be taking a look up in the trees and looking for anything that's broken and still hanging there that could drop on the house. But it looks like most of the stuff that we see on the ground missed the house as it dropped. Do you see anything major broken, like broken and dangling there?
There's some branches up in there.
Yeah, I can see some small branches that are hanging out in the trees up there, but those small branches, they're not going to do any serious damage if they fall out of the tree. It's the great big splits on great big branches that concern me. So the piglets are doing well. I peeked out the window last night and I could see that they were hunkered down in their shelter over here.
Hi guys.
So this is a little heart-wrenching for us. This is the place where my daughter got married, and it was the place that we planned on using for other stuff like that. Like if my wife and I ever renewed our vows, or, to be honest with you, we talked about being buried under this tree, and now this tree is no longer here. And all of the things that we put in place for the wedding have been destroyed. My wife and I are not the type of people that are like, oh, woe is me. I mean, this is one of those, I'm glad it wasn't the house things, but this is definitely very sad. I mean, this was a spot on our property that had a very fond place in our hearts. So the pig's house is untouched and the pigs are all fine, but this trampoline is a total loss. I don't know that we're going to be able to straighten it out and continue to use it for shade. We may have to look for another used trampoline to make sure that the pigs have shade. So that branch right there, that's a pretty big concern, because it is hanging onto the tree by a thread, and it is a very, very large branch. Yeah. So we'll have to get in here and clean this up. I would say, in all honesty, the priority is probably getting this stuff out from around the pigs so they don't get hurt on it, and kind of unburying this trampoline. Get stuff out of the fences so they'll actually work. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not happy about this branch. I definitely don't want to be standing under it, especially with it being as wet as it is. Should we see what our 10 p.m. repair job looked like?
Yeah. In the mud.
Yeah, 10 p.m. in the mud, pitch black. Yeah. So we got all this pulled off this electric fence last night to keep these pigs in. They're all happy, they're all healthy, their house held up fine. Some stuff dropped on the trampoline, but it doesn't look like it's damaged too badly. At this point, we're just counting our lucky stars that the house seems to be okay. We had some fence damage over here that, again, 10 p.m. pitch black in the mud. So we'll need to come out and just kind of add some more wire to this to strengthen it up. Yeah, we'll try to unbend it a little bit and get it straightened out. But I mean, that's I'm surprised.
Concerned about the
Yeah.
touching everywhere. So
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to do some. I mean, they're you can hear that they're hitting, but they're not hitting well because they are grounded out in several places. The electric fence. But all in all, we can repair it. I mean, that's not a small branch, and we're probably what, 30 yards? 30 yards from the tree that it fell off of. So I don't remember any reports of a tornado actually touching. Was there?
In Gerald, I know south of Gerald.
So we did have a tornado touchdown not too far from our house, but what we got was all of the rotating tornadic kind of straight line hardcore winds that are on the outskirts of what eventually becomes a tornado that touches down. And you know, when you're talking about wind gusts of 60, 70 miles an hour, they can obviously do some damage. Doesn't look like anything dropped on this. We don't have any pigs in this area right now, but we are getting ready to move some in. But we've actually done quite a bit of tree work out here, so I think it was thin enough that we didn't lose too much. Hello, Oliver.
Hi, Ollie.
Hi, Oli. Hi.
Hi, Papa. Hi.
Here's made it through the storm, huh? Hi, Trixie. Hi, Trixie. Did you make it through the storm okay? Hey, Pushy. So it looks like their house is fine, but it's a good thing we have this one large tree in this particular paddock because their shade is 40 yards away from where it was supposed to be and hung in a tree apparently. But my thing is thinking about the future because that could have done a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So I think that over the course of the next few weeks, we need to like really stake down all the trampolines, drive some stakes really deep into the earth, tie them down with like paracord, or because I mean, if that had hit the chicken coop, it would have taken the chicken coop out. I don't like this. And this is on me. You know, I mean, if there had been animals out here with this metal flying around, I mean, these are it could literally cut an animal in half. See how there's metal laying inside the chicken coop, and it came from all the way over there. That's not good at all. We might not, I don't know if I can take care of this or not. You see that giant branch right there that's split, and that's why it's hanging down on the barn so much. But that whole
branches off and then
that's all we can do really today is probably start trimming the branches up like ladder height to loosen the heft on the stress of that broken branch right there, because that branch is huge. If that falls on that corner of the barn, it's yeah, the barn's done. Hey honey, we'll look at this, honey. See, yeah, this isn't good at all. So as far as the future goes, so we need to walk around and clean up all the sheet metal, but we need to secure it because if this booger here had been outside when that came flying through, it literally could have cut her in half. All right, y'all, we've got some work to do. Like I said, we both had no choice but to take some time off of work. I can see now that it looks like the farm is going to survive. We had one chicken tractor that it ripped the tarp off last night. The chickens were all accounted for. We stapled the tarp back together and it's holding for now. So I've got to go buy some supplies for little things like that, tarps, etc. It looks like we got very lucky. The house is okay. The barn is okay. So that's the structures that obviously are the most stressful. All of the animals are accounted for. Nobody appears to be injured. Wife and kids are okay. I'm okay. You know, and then we start breaking down to the other stuff. It looks like the trailers didn't take any damage. The carport's fine. The shed is fine. None of the chicken coops are real busted up. So to be honest with you, from a structural standpoint, yeah, well, that chicken tractor, yeah. From a structural standpoint, it looks like we got incredibly lucky. But there is a ton of cleanup to do, and some of it is going to be trying to prevent damage, because if some of these branches that are just hanging here let go, then we will have structural damage. So we've got a lot of work. Keep us in your thoughts over the next few days while we try and start getting this cleaned up. You know, my wife and I can't afford to miss a ton of work. She has a very demanding job, and I'm relatively new to my job. So with today, we're grateful that we have understanding supervisors. But obviously we can't push that. So we need to get back to work and try and get this cleaned up in whatever spare time we have, along with all of the other farm projects that are daily. So like I said, keep us in your thoughts over the next few days. You know, if you're the praying type, we could definitely use prayer for strength and for some endurance, because I'm sure we're going to be at a point where we're pretty tired and still have stuff to do. We'll try and keep you updated as we get the farm looking a little bit better. But until we see y'all again, this has been Chris and Jess with Rockin Farm. Be happy and live healthy.